How's it going, everybody? Hope you're all doing well. So let's discuss assault packs or day packs. What do you need in them and what don't you need in them? I see a lot of people just stacking tons of stuff into this day pack, and maybe that's okay for you, but I think there is a baseline of equipment that should be there. And I know that guy's gonna come in and say, Matt DC, just bear with me. We're going to do baseline equipment that should recommend be in your assault kit. So, or day pack, whatever you prefer that verbiage. All right, so let's dive into the philosophy of it. So, philosophy of an assault pack. What is it? Okay, well, it's a pack that can sustain you roughly for 24 hours to assist you in assaulting. Now, that makes kind of sense, but at the same time it doesn't, because then you start wondering, okay, well, what do I need? So we're going to discuss that. Now, different types of packs are available. Personally, I use a Hyperlite Mountain Gear just because it's so ultra lightweight. There's other kits that I use too. This 3-day assault pack by Mystery Ranch, very heavy, and it is not 3 days worth of assaulting. I don't know why they named it that, but that's just reality. I got a Source one, and then everybody's favorite is the Ares Armor Combat 11 pack that you cannot get anymore. And everyone's like, oh my gosh, it's so amazing. And yes, I have one, so if you want one, sorry, bummer. But anyways, let's talk about what does an assault pack do? What's its intent? It is literally maintaining your fighting ability. That is it. It's not saying being comfortable or having more luxury items. It is maintaining, meaning keeping you at that peak performance throughout the day or that 24-hour period as you're utilizing it and as you're doing things. So, what do we need to maintain ourselves? Well, let's look at the first things that often will harm our body or harm us from the enemy or from our terrain or and all this stuff. So, number one on the list, what can stop us or degrade us from doing our mission with this pack? Well, projectiles or bullets or the enemy firing on us. Okay, well, how does this make sense? Because my pack can't really do anything. Well, it can. It can go both ways. This black backpack stands out very easily. This Coyote Brown backpack stands out very easily, especially through your shoulder outline and your head outline. So what you want to do is break up that outline, which preferably what I use is ghillies or backpack ghillies. This one's a Bees Combat one. This is what I use. I like them. There's others out on the market, but you can cover up your backpack to make it more difficult to see your outline. Meaning if the enemy is watching you or looking at a location, they can't go, hey, there's a weird outline thing. I'm going to send a few rounds into it. This will break up that visual aspect of your enemy. So that's the quickest way you can die is pew-pews from bad guys. So eliminate that by using camouflage. Cover that pack up. Cover your outline up. Next way is injuries. Okay, well, injuries like IFAKs and stuff should be on your LBE. You shouldn't be really using this. But what injuries could you sustain or would you need to maintain? Your feet. Your feet are your mobility piece. You can move around with it. That is what you are focused on. If you don't have your feet, you are dead. So take care of them. So if you are traversing several miles into an objective point and you left your sustainment pack, which preferably is what you do, you might want to wrap up your feet, which I recommend a blister kit of some kind. You know, Body Glide and some baby wipes, maybe some antibiotic ointment. Very lightweight. This weighs 2 to 3 ounces. Maintain your feet, which we'll talk about here in a second with some other things. So with that, if your injuries, you took care of your injuries or potentials with your feet, what's the next thing down the list? Water or dehydration. If you don't hydrate, you will be a liability to the rest of your team, and now they have to worry about getting you out when they should be worrying about other things. You should be fully self-contained so your team can view you as an asset. Now, what I normally do is I run about 4 liters of water. Now, your environment and location will dictate, but I normally keep 2 bottles of water or 2 liters and then another 2 liters in here. Now this is a Hydro Pack, so what is cool about these is after you're done drinking, these roll up and they disappear in your pack so they don't take up excess space. Normally canteens have an outline of a canteen. Regardless if they're empty or they're full, they take up the same amount of volume in your pack. Bladder like this saves that and alleviates you from maxing out your pack. And as the day goes on, your pack gets smaller, which is beneficial. So the dehydration piece. Now you can throw in, which I often do, a small little water purifier. Now I use the BeFree typically. It's like a little tiny BeFree filter, which you can use with this bladder in a worst case scenario, just because water is the quickest way reasonably to die other than the 2 that I discussed. So I just use a little tiny water filtration system like that. Extremely lightweight, doesn't take up room in your pack, but it is a backup. Normally your sustainment bag will have the major water purification or water creation in a way for your entire team. Next is your environment. That is next on the list, is your environment can kill you depending on where you're at. If it's raining, is it snowing, is it sleeting, is it extremely cold, is it extremely hot? So at that point, you might want to bring other layers, especially if this is a 24-hour bag. You know, bring an extra layer, this merino wool quarter zip to keep you a little bit warmer, or a rain jacket or something to keep that heat in. Now, if you're in a different environment in the desert, you probably don't have to worry about that kind of stuff. It's snowing. It just depends. METTC, here we go again, I used it. But I also use a poncho. Now, this poncho can be used for a lot of things, right? Water. But if you would have to stay the night, you can just curl up in this thing and be set. Outside of the environment, yeah, it's gonna be pouring rain on you, but you can wrap up and still go to sleep, especially if you like got away from your sustainment pack and you have to lay low, blah, 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 there's all kinds of stuff. But this can also be used as a hide point and other things, you know, you can use it as camouflage. There's 1,000 different uses. I always keep a poncho in there. So next, moving down from that, and lastly is food. For the most part, just small calories to maintain that baseline, like this whole pack is intended. Like I said, you're maintaining that line. You're not trying to degrade it and you're not trying to go above it. Maintain your efficiency in fighting. So if you don't have food, you slowly start to go down. Take easy food items that you can just grab, like granola bars or Skittles or, you know, little things that you can on the move just grab, eat, just to maintain it. Now, technically, there is another one last one, which is mission essential items, which mission essential items could be literally anything. It just depends on the mission. METTC, gosh, how many times is he going to say that? I'm sorry, but it's true. For example, a helmet and night vision capability. That is a mission potential requirement. If you have night vision, run it. It is beneficial for you. That is a mission essential item. Maybe thermals, you know, maybe a signaling device. Now, some of this stuff can also be on your kit, so it doesn't need to take up space. So how do we kind of organize this stuff? Or how do you expand or scale this assault pack? We're wrapping it up. We're almost done here. So normally you have your entire pack and it's fairly packed out for other items or necessary things. But what if you go to your objective and you say just run off the enemy? They're gone, but they left a bunch of stuff behind. And you're like, man, my assault pack's really small. Well, what you should do is do a very large roll top bag. And this is where your clothing items should be stored in case it's pouring rain on you. You don't want your good socks to get completely destroyed by weather. But you can also use a larger bag. Don't go a little tiny one that just has just enough room for your stuff. Do a larger bag so you can pull this out, dump the stuff in your pack, and now you have a whole nother bag that you can stuff other items into, put paracord around it, and then flip it on your back and then continue. So now your assault pack filled with other gear that you've already found and a whole nother pack of other items that you may have scavenged or found. So you'll be able to plus up. Now, if you don't need to do that, then you just run this thing all the way sealed up in the bottom of your bag and you don't have to worry about it with your clothing-based items. So, video's going on for a little bit longer. There is more stuff that I can speak on. I think the next video will actually show you how I pack mine out. Like, I didn't talk about Crocs. Ammo is another thing that should be in there. right? How do we utilize ammo? There's tons of different other things in there, but I just gave you the baseline. Ammo can be mission essential as well. I just use a bandolier, really easy because you can hand it off to someone. Hey, here's ammo. I'm out. I keep my backpack on me. You know, it assists you. Now, like I said, we're going to go through another video, probably packing this thing out, just showing you how to do it. And this is just a baseline. This is my opinion and a recommendation of where you should start, and then start thinking up ideas of what you could potentially need. So that was overall the basics, which we're talking about camouflage, or ways, you know, that you could die first, which is the enemy bullets, so camouflage. Next is injuries, normally to your feet. Next is water, so dehydration. The next thing down from that is your environment, so what's around you, how do you protect against that? And then also a little bit of calories or your food intake to keep you going through that 24 hours to maintain that perfect effectiveness. So if you guys like this kind of stuff, definitely like, subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. If you want some of the items here, we have Amazon affiliate links that you can give me a few cents. If you purchase, it gives me a few cents that I put back into the channel. Better audio, better visual, better equipment to show you how to do stuff. So other than that, hope you enjoyed this. Definitely like, subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. Hope you all have a great day.